How do I use pretrial testimony to contradict a witness at trial during the course of my cross-examination? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a moment as I share with you some really cool information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. So now here's the scenario. I'm at trial. Let's say it's a car accident case. And now I'm cross-examining the other driver who we believe caused you harm. So now this witness has already testified. The defense lawyer has asked him lots of questions. When he's done, I now have an opportunity to get up and begin my cross-examination. And let's say for our purposes, this witness has testified that the color of the light for his direction of travel was green as he approached the intersection. So now, here's what I do. Mr. Jones, you've told us today that the color of the light was green as you approached the intersection. True? Yes. And now, you first saw that traffic light about a quarter of a mile away. Isn't that true? Yes. And you were going straight on this roadway heading toward the intersection. True? Yes. And now, you didn't make any stops from the time you were a quarter mile away until the intersection, correct? Correct. And now, as you approached that intersection, you were able to see the color of the light continuously. Isn't that true? Yes. And what was the color of the light? It was green. And it was green from the time you first saw it up until the time you reached the intersection. Isn't that true? Yes. So now what am I doing here? I am locking this witness into his testimony that the light was green. Now why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I already know that 2 years earlier, during pretrial questioning, during his pretrial testimony, this witness, this driver of the other car, said when he was asked what was the color of the light, he said, "I don't remember." I don't remember. That's 2 years earlier. Now that's a clear contradiction because now it's 2 years later and all of a sudden he has a crystal clear memory of what the color of the light was? Well, now I'm going to use that information to show his contradiction to the jury. So now, how do I do that? Mr. Jones, you remember 2 years ago I had an opportunity to question you in this case, correct? Yes. That's known as pretrial testimony, isn't that right? Yes. That was your deposition in your attorney's office, isn't that right? Yes. And there was a court reporter there to take down my questions and your answers. Isn't that true? Yes. And you know that after that question and answer session was done, your attorney sent you a booklet called a transcript to read. Isn't that right? Yes. And your attorney told you to read it over, and if there are corrections, you are to make corrections on a separate piece of paper, correct? Yes. And in fact, you did that. Isn't that true? You wanted to make sure that the transcript, the questions and the answers that you gave were in fact accurate. Isn't that right? Yes. And you did make corrections, true? Yes. And we have the correction sheet that you provided, isn't that right? Mr. Jones, I want to show you your transcript. Page 7, line 17. Question, what was the color of the light? Answer, I don't remember. You gave that answer to that question on this date, isn't that true? Yes. And now, take a look at your correction sheet. Is there anything on the correction sheet to indicate that there was a correction that needed to be changed? No, there isn't. All right. So now what have I done? I've shown a clear contradiction between what was in his pretrial testimony compared to the testimony he just gave in court just a few minutes earlier. And now you will find that novice attorneys turn around and say, well, Mr. Jones, are you lying now or were you lying then? That's not the right thing to do. Instead, I'm going to save that contradiction. I'm going to highlight that later on at the time of closing remarks to the jury. And there are other strategies that I can use with this type of contradiction. So why do I share this with you? I share this with you because this is useful in every single civil lawsuit in the state of New York involving an accident case or a medical malpractice case or even a wrongful death case. You know, I realize you're watching this video because you likely have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit, but you have questions that need to be answered first, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.